Species diversity. Species diversity is one of the most important and the basic characteristic of the community. Okay, so it is the one of the most important as well as the basic concept of the community. Now, what is a community? Community is a group of the population that coexist, group of population that coexist in the space and the time and interact with one another either directly or indirectly. So basically the community, it includes all the plant, all the animals, fungi, bacteria and other organism which is living in a particular area, and it always represent the biotic or living component of ecosystem. Okay, so all the living or the biotic component of the ecosystem refers to as the biotic community. So we are talking about the biotic community, and species diversity is a part or the basic fundamental characteristic of the biotic community. And biotic community, it consists of the interlocking food chains, and the each species are depending on one another, and it depends on various species which are not taxonomically which are basically the taxonomically unrelated, and this community can be of the various sizes, means it can be a small one or it can be of different type also. So this is a picture or the diagram. Basically, it represents the biodiversity which we all know. So this biodiversity, it is a picture represent the biodiversity of which the four different diversity is there: the functional diversity, ecological diversity, species diversity, and the genetic diversity. This lecture is all about the species diversity only. And so let's discuss some more important point of this biodiversity picture. So term biodiversity, it refers to the heterogeneity which is present in the world as a habitat, ranging from the macromolecules within the cell to the biomass. So the biological diversity, it is also why it is known as a biodiversity, because it consists of the biological form of organisms either in the form of the plant, animal, microorganism, fungi, everything. So diverse biological forms are present in an ecosystem. This is known as the biodiversity. Or we can say that the variety of the earth species, the genes they contain, the ecosystem in which they live, and the ecosystem processes such as the energy flow and the nutrient cycling, these all sustain the life. This all encompasses the biodiversity. So biodiversity is a very vital renewable source, and it comprises of the species diversity, which is most obvious, one of the important. So and it includes the number and the abundance of the species of the plant, animal, fungus of that particular region. So species diversity is there, but besides species diversity, which is one of the important part of the biodiversity, other diversity are also present, such as the genetic diversity is there. Means the species diversity, how they are varied genetically, means the variety of the genetic material within a particular species or a group of population is termed as the genetic diversity. Okay, so the Earth's variety of species, they contain an even greater variety of the genes. The genetic diversity, it helps or it enables the life on the Earth to adapt and to survive the dramatical environmental changes. Because with the help of the genes, they are able to survive and adapt to the different environmental conditions. Okay, so this genetic diversity is also vital for the sustainability of the life on the Earth. Next, diversity is the ecosystem diversity or the ecological diversity, because the Earth's variety of the the desert is there, grassland is there, forest is there, mountain. So they have the different type of the diversity either in terms of the plant or in terms of the animal. So whatever the ecological diversity of these plant or animal which is found in the mountain region is not found in the terrestrial part, and whatever the diversity is found in the desert area, they are not the part of the northern part or some other diversity. So in this way, they have a variety of the deserts, grassland, forest, mountains, ocean, lakes, river, and wetland, which is another important component of the biodiversity. So each of these ecosystem basically is a storehouse of the genetic and the species diversity. Okay, so whether it is of the grassland ecosystem, so it is a storehouse of the variety of the genetic as well as the species ecosystem. It may be of the desert ecosystem, it may be the wetland ecosystem, whatever it is. So it consists of the variety of the genetic diversity as well as the species diversity. Okay, but yet another important biodiversity or another important component of the biodiversity is the functional diversity. The functional diversity basically it includes all the processes such as the matter cycling and the energy flow which is taking place within the ecosystem. For example, the species interact with the one another in the food chain or in the food web. So these all basically they form an important component of the ecosystem, and in the functional diversity, all the biological as well as the chemical processes which are required for the sustainability of the species or the group of population or the community in an ecosystem is there. So that is why the functional diversity is is also an important part or component of the biodiversity. So let's discuss or delve into the topic of the species diversity, which we'll discuss in detail. So this species diversity is what? As the name suggests, there is a diverse species is present in the particular region or the particular area. So the species diversity, it includes the variety. It includes the variety as well as abundance, means how many type of species are present or the total number of species are present in a particular area, and what are the abundance of that particular species in a particular place. So this is known as the species diversity, right? There are various ways of measuring the species diversity. The simplest one is just to enumerate the number of the species which is present in a given area. For example, suppose there is a forest ecosystem and there are A, B, C type of the species are there. So we can just count them 1, 2 and the 3. So 3 different species are present. So this is the simplest way. So this is relatively easy to achieve for the plant and the last sedentary animal, but it is very difficult to enumerate the various insect which is present in an ecosystem. So an important characteristic of the ecosystem of the community and the ecosystem to which it belongs is its species diversity, and it includes the species richness and species evenness. Species richness means the number of different species it contains. Okay, it contains. So whatever the number of different species with which it contain, it is termed as the species richness, and it is always combined with the species evenness because it means that the relative abundance of individual within those species. Okay, so this species richness is always coupled with the species evenness, and that together make the species diversity. Okay, so richness means the total number of the species which is given in a particular area. The species diversity of the communities, it varies with that of the geography